Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's another session on Top Club, and today we'll be talking about strategies for building a purpose-driven organization. And today we have with me my beloved brother, a change maker, someone that is doing great things in the area of impacting and transforming life. Itofa Ivarah, and is going to be impacting us tonight and sharing us, teaching us how we can build a purpose-driven organization. And the main goal and essence for this session is that I remember in 2019 when I was starting Teams on Purpose International, I had to go through a lot, like search for things, try to gain clarity on how to go about this problem, this vision I'm trying to like use to impact other people. All right, and I remember it took me a lot of time. I went through a lot trying to get information online, trying to just gain clarity on how to go about impacting and start this organization. So I know many people are here, and as you all know, at Teams of Purpose International, we are committed to raising purpose-driven leaders who become agents of positive change. And I'm sure everyone watching me tonight, you may have a problem that you are interested or passionate about solving. You have seen a need in your society. I know that you have what it takes to provide solution to that need, but you can't you don't just get started. All right, you need the right structures, you need the right foundation, because like the Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So you need to start building with the right foundation, all right, and to be learning the strategies for building a purpose-driven organization. And I intentionally say purpose-driven because there are people that build an organization just for themselves, all right. There's no structure for sustainability. And if everything you are building is just about it, if it dies with you, it's not enough. You need to start with the vision, mission, and many other things, building the right team. If you have questions about starting your organization, if you have questions about impacting lives, if you have questions about how to go about that thing you are passionate about, how to go about it. Tonight's session, our speaker tonight, Mr. Itofa Ivarah, will be giving you the right answers. And I'm sure at the end of tonight's session, you gain clarity, the clarity that is needed to make progress, the clarity that is needed to advance your initiative or whatever program you are planning to start. And without wasting time, if you are joining me, if you can hear me clearly, let me know in the comment section. Let me know where you are joining from, and let me know how excited you are for tonight's session. Some of you have to share this link with someone, and please, any of our team member that's on this call, on this live, kindly share it on the community so that everyone can know we have started and our speaker is here, is ready to impact us tonight. And I'm telling you, if you have had Itofa Ivarah speak, you know that it doesn't just come on that it comes with fire. I remember some years, about 2 years ago, and he was talking to me about his dream and how his work with Church on the Streets and all. This is my food bank, yes, Niger, my food bank, Niger. And he was telling me about the way he was speaking and communicating. I know he was preparing for something then. The way he was, I was inspired by myself. Do you get what I'm saying? I was inspired. I was told that wow, in fact, this guy deserves anything he gets. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's not just speaking from head knowledge, he's speaking from experience, he's speaking from passion. And I tell people that you will sense people that speak from just their head. There are people that you know that when they speak from their heart, they speak from their hunger to transform life, to change lives. And I'm telling you, if you can stay to the end of this session, I can tell you, you'll never remain the same again. And the reason why I'm even inviting it is because in 2020, when I was just trying to grow Teams of Purpose International, I needed a strategy. I was looking for people that are doing something similar to what I'm doing, young people like me. And I found this page. I saw his book about how to build a non-profit, strategies for building a non-profit. I got that book in 2020. That time, I was still stupid to say I was struggling financially. But because I know the value of knowledge, I remember I told him that I would get back to him in a few days after I told me the cost. I got the book, and to be sincere, what I learned from the book, I applied it. You know, there are some people that read book just to know. I was reading the book to apply to what I'm building. And to be sincere, I gleaned a lot of knowledge from that book, knowledge about storytelling, having a mission, knowing the difference between mission and vision, having how to build, manage projects, how to build. I learned a lot. And so far, his life has really impacted me, and he has done amazing things, and he's still doing amazing things. So tonight you'll be transformed. Please share this link with someone that you know need to hear this. All right, don't enjoy it alone. Don't forget, we are raising purpose-driven leaders, and purpose-driven leaders, what they do is that they help others find their way, they help others gain clarity. So, without wasting time, I know it's ready, it's geared up, and I've shared his bio, his profile on the group already, but I'm going to just read a few things about him so you know the caliber of the person we have on the call tonight. All right, uh, Itofa Ivarah is an innovative development consultant with over 6 years experience 6 years of experience leveraging human-centered design and evidence-based research to deliver systemic solutions to social and economic challenges in the areas of poverty, education, inequalities, and health. He has a track record of helping NGOs raise funds and have raised over $20,000 with a cumulative impact of 11,000 direct beneficiaries from this project. This just lets you know that he has impacted thousands of lives. And who is better in a better position to impact you than someone that did not just come to speak from head knowledge but to speak from experience. So I know you're excited tonight. So without wasting time, let's with a clapping ovation, all right, let's welcome Itofa Ivarah as he speaks to us tonight on strategies for building a purpose-driven organization. Good evening, brother. Okay, let me see if all right, this thing is hanging. Okay, 1 second. I'm having a glitch here, but let me try.
Yep.
So while I'm still trying to
Yeah,
connect
I
and
can
put him
I can see
online,
myself.
please let me know how excited.
I
Okay,
can see
great,
myself live and direct.
great. Glad to have you here. Good
My
evening.
pleasure.
Good
My
evening.
pleasure, my brother. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
It's
I'm doing
always
great.
also
Thanks so much for coming on board. I really appreciate. I told them, and as you know, I know you have a lot
yeah.
doing. All right, so we not take it for granted, and we look forward to your impactful session. So you can just go ahead,
Okay,
sir.
great. So thank you very much. Thank you, Mordecai. It's always a great time every time you and I have this opportunity, whether it's interacting or sharing. It means a lot. And so tonight, I'm supposed to talk to you guys about how to build incredible organizations, not just building something that is one-off idea, but something that could be transformed into becoming an institution. And I'm really excited about that, right? If you know that you are on this call and you have an expectation of what you want to take out of the session, could you leave something in the chat box? I'm going through the chat box. What is your expectation for tonight? Are you a founder? Are you thinking about building something? Have you started something? Put in the chat box. What exactly brought you here? Are you building something, thinking about building something? What is that innovation that you have at the back of your mind? I just want you to put it in the chat box. And so when you talk about launching, building, or starting an organization, there's so many dynamics and dimensions about it. So while the topic for today is called how to build a purpose-driven organization, I'm going to be speaking from the subtitle how to change the world on a budget. Because for people like yourself and myself who run either non-for-profit or social enterprise, we have one strategic goal. We want to be able to develop something that is systematic at the same time that would eventually become an institution that changes the world. And so the title of my topic tonight is how to change the world on a budget. Someone says thinking about building a unicorn. Absolutely fantastic. Rejoice. You see, there's an interesting concept that I love in physics. It's called the concept of the escape velocity. If there's anyone here who's ever flown, in an airplane before, now when you enter an airplane and the airplane begins to taxi on the tarmac, for your airplane to go against the Earth's gravitational pull, it has to achieve or attain something called escape velocity. Escape velocity. Now, that terminology explains why so many organizations are never able to take off the ground. And so, for someone like Rejoice who's thinking about building a unicorn, if you don't attain escape velocity, you can never build anything. Whether it's building a tech institution, building an education platform, building a social enterprise or a non-for-profit, you need to have amassed a level of escape velocity. Stay with me. Now, for your plane to take off the ground and begin to fly in the air, it needs to attain escape velocity. Now, what is escape velocity? Is the total amount of generative power the airplane has to attain to go against the Earth's gravitational pull. Now, as Newton already told us, if you throw anything up, it will come down, correct? So, the natural propensity for an airplane is that it will fall down back to the ground if it goes up. But how come it's still suspended in the air? It attained escape velocity to go against the Earth's gravitational pull. Now, I said that to say this. Could it be possible that there are certain things that are currently gravitational pulls pulling you down? It could be sometime like your family. I can see my very good brother Andre here. It could be your family, it could be your environment, it could be where you are coming from. That is the gravitational pull that is drawing you down. Take, for instance, Rejoice. Somebody that is born in poverty, it will take a powerful generative escape velocity to build a unicorn. Because for you to come out of a comfort zone where you haven't seen anyone building a unicorn, for you to say, I am going to build a unicorn, you must ensure that you've garnered enough escape velocity to go against the Earth's gravitational pull. And that gravitational pull could be scarcity mentality, poverty mindset. It could be environment that no one has gone beyond the scope of Nigeria, or no one has gone beyond the scope of their environment. How can somebody who has all they've seen is mediocrity all their life, and you tell them that you can build a unicorn? So that person, like Rejoice, for example, now you need to generate a heavy escape velocity to get out of that sort of gravitational pull. Someone says, I want to build my own school. Yes, that's a great idea. But guess what? You will need millions of naira, by the way, to build an actual school that works. Whether it's free school you want to build or a school where people would have to pay tuition, at some point you will need people, you will need to raise the capital, the infrastructure to invest in building that school. And so when it comes to building organization, a lot of people pay so much attention to the physical structure than they do to their minds. Mindset is such a powerful force. Mindset is such a powerful force. Now, I'm going to use these two people who have given me their ideas of what they want to build, to elaborate my point. For somebody who wants to build a unicorn from Nigeria, Africa, tell me, how many unicorns do you know? You have the likes of Paystack, we have Flutterwave, you have Piggyvest as well. You could call this company a unicorn because they've almost crossed the $1 million mark for market valuation. Now, somebody who is not does not have a direct connection with these people, you cannot tell me that you would wake up one day. Okay, let's even use a simple example. Nobody in your family has ever traveled to America. Your father was born, raised in Nigeria, died in Nigeria. Mother was born, raised in Nigeria, died in Nigeria. Their father was born, raised in Nigeria, died in Nigeria. Their mother was born, same thing happened. And you came into the scene, and somebody tells you that, bro, do you know in 6 months you can go to America? If that is the first time you are hearing it, there is a tendency that you will doubt it. Those are the gravitational pull I'm talking about. Those are the gravitational pull. And so when it comes to building successful organization, founders have to work on their mindset. Do you know that if you have a non-profit, studies have shown that the quality of funding, finance, and resources you receive are based or predicated on two platforms: the relationships you have and the quality of your mindset. A founder that has never seen $10 million before, there is absolutely no way your mind can believe that you can get $10,000 million. A founder that has never managed 10 million naira before, there is no way you can believe that you will receive 10 million naira tomorrow. So the quality of resources you attract is a function of the mindset you have. So the question I want to ask you now, you are a founder or a prospective founder, what is the quality of your mindset? On a scale of 1 to 10, if we tell you to assess and analyze your mind, what is the quality of your mindset? Do you believe you have value to offer? Do you really believe that the solutions you are currently delivering to the world, do you think you have the requisite technical knowledge that if we tell you to pitch that idea to funders, you've built enough capacity to collect $10,000 or even $10 million? These are the predicating factors that creates the difference between organizations that become very successful and organizations that struggle. And I'm going to tell you my story. When I started my organization, Church in the Street. I was in the University of Benin, Nigeria. I was going to my second year. And at that time, I'd never even seen 100,000 naira before. I'd never seen 100K. Like someone gave me 100,000. I'd never seen it before. Mind you, I was just a 19-year-old kid, getting into this university and wanting to start this big idea. Never seen 100K before. So in my mind, maybe we need to stay around for a while to get that kind of money. But just last week here, just last week here, I was having a meeting with a founder in America who had called me for some strategy consultation. And she told me, she said, Itofa, for every time we launch a fundraiser, internally as an organization, we generate ten to $12,000. Somebody punched $10,000 and $12,000 in your Nigerian calculator. She said every time we call for a fundraiser internally, I'm not talking of external fundraiser, we raise $10 to $12,000. Now, what that tells you is that the quality of people this founder has surrounded herself with are people who are able to raise that kind of money. The second thing is that for them to consistently give her $10,000 and $12,000, it means she has built a structure that works for her, a structure that can manage that money and convert that money to systemic intervention that solves real problem. These are the things that really makes people to build successful organizations. Now, I know that there are people here who work in the for-profit sector, for the people who work in the non-profit sector. So I'm going to develop my points in a dual version. I'll speak to the non-profit founders and I'll speak to the guys in the for-profit sector. So I started a workshop called the Social Innovation Masterclass, where I teach social entrepreneurs how to leverage design thinking to deploy ideas that can generate money for them. Right now, many funders for the non-profit guys are looking for ideas that have infused technology in them. For-profit sector, if you run a social enterprise, you can leverage both selling the ideas you have generated and getting international funding as well for that idea. Those are the two ways. I wish I don't have a slide here to show you case studies and examples, but I wish still together. I'm seeing your comments on the chat box. Are we still together? So we've addressed mindsets, and I want to leave you with this question: where exactly would you say you are mentally in terms of the quality of your mindset for the as a founder? Can you say that, look, I'm trying to, I believe that this organization I'm building in 5 years, in 3 years, we can be listed on the School World Forum platform. In 3 years or in 5, 10 years, Time Magazine will see this thing we're doing in Africa. Now, the problem with a lot of founders that start out is that they start out with passion and it's good, but passion doesn't sustain any cause. Passion doesn't bring money. Now, because I was around a lot of founders, I saw a common pattern and I told myself, no, 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 no. I'm not going to follow this style or strategy. I'm going to go a different route. And that route is technical expertise and technical knowledge. Technical expertise and technical knowledge. Now, for you to build any organization, you need a high level of emotional intelligence. Right. I know this is called Teams on Purpose platform. So probably there's a lot of young people that are listening to me right now. Now, if you're ever going to build anything in the future, one of the predominant factors you need to ensure that you have as a leader is that you have a very high level of emotional intelligence. Number one. Number two, you need to have solid, strong communication skills, because somebody has to take these ideas you are developing and give those ideas, share that idea with the rest of the world. So you will need to have a high level of communication, skill in communication. And finally, you will need to learn how to manage people and have broker interpersonal relationship. These three skills that I mentioned are skills that honestly you can take an organization from ground level and take them to the top. All right, are we together? So I'm going to tell you a story. The Wright brothers are the guys that built the airplane. Am I correct? Does it? Are we together? The Wright brothers were the ones who built the airplane. Is that correct? Right. In between 1903 to 1908, the Wright brothers told themselves, "Look, we can build an airplane. We could build the first man-powered airplane, and people can fly." Now, saying people can fly in 1903, in the early 1900s, is like saying that a day will come when people can marry AI. Like AI can have spirits. It's like saying that, because it sounds impossible, that how are you going to put the spirits inside AI? That's what it felt like, saying that a day will come when man can fly in the air. But guess what? It happened. But that's not even the story. The story here is that the Wright brothers were not educated. They didn't have like Ivy League institution. They didn't have a fantastic warehouse where they were building their infrastructure from. They didn't have any of those things. All they had was the willpower and a vision that they could contribute something to humanity. And that brings me to my third point. That is something every founder should have. Whether you're building a for profit or you're building a non profit, you must tell yourself that whatever will come out of my loins, whatever will come out of this mind, has to contribute something to humanity. The people the world celebrates today are not people who woke up and built organizations that celebrate them, are people who built something that solves critical world issue. So you want to build a school, what world issue are you solving? You want to build a unicorn, what world issue are you solving? Now, moving on with my story, the Wright brothers were building what they were building with second-hand parts. In America, they call them bicycle shops, meaning that those places where they throw abandoned materials, that's where they were picking scraps to build this first airplane. Now, what a lot of people didn't know about history is that the Wright brothers were not the only ones building an airplane around the same time. A man called Samuel Pierpont Langley was working at the Smithsonian Institute. He got money, $50,000 in the 1900s. $50,000 from the Smithsonian Institute to build an aeroplane. Do you know what it means to get $50,000 in 1903? And then there was another guy, two brothers, who were working from a bicycle shop. I'm talking about willpower. I'm talking about innovation. I'm talking about telling yourself that irrespective of everything around me, I will contribute something significant to the world. That's what I'm talking about. With spare parts, without an education, without grant money. This other guy is Samuel Pierpont Langley. You can Google him and read about him. He got grant money. He had the press following him everywhere. He had he literally had everything to build the same airplane. But guess what? He never succeeded in building that airplane because the brothers started with a why. For them, it wasn't about the attention. It wasn't about the gravitas. It wasn't about the paparazzi. They really wanted to solve a critical issue in the world. This man, on the other hand, got everything he needed, but he was never able to achieve building that airplane. And rather than having that humility to go and meet these boys and say, "Bro, how you guys building this thing? Let's work together." History has it that he died from suicide. He never could live with the fact that these boys built something that he tried to build. What does that tell us about history or tell us about life? You have to start with a why. Why do you want to build something? Why do you want to build a unicorn? Rejoice. I don't know if you're still on the call. Um, Gentleman who wants to build a school, why do you want to do it? What is the motivating factor driving you to want to build this thing? What is pushing you? Nowadays, everybody blows up their bio. You want to be important. I'm the founder of XYZ. But guess what? Being a founder is not easy. It's not easy anywhere. It's not easy to anybody. Every founder you see, there's a joke I make all the time. I tell my friends, I say, look, is the person wearing the hat that knows exactly where the pain is. So for founders, many of them are driving a lonely path. Are we still together on this call? Many of them are driving a lonely path, a very lonely path. So your job and my job is to ensure that you are starting with a why. You don't want to be the person who builds something because everybody's building. Why exactly is this important? Why exactly is this critical? Why exactly should you even do what you're doing? You need to start with a why. And a beautiful book I want to recommend to everybody on this call is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. When you read that book, it does something to your mind. It makes you begin to ask yourself, am I really cut out for this? Is this what I want to do on the long haul? Is this what I want to do on the long haul? And so starting with why is so important. Now, why is it important that you need a why? It is because I remember that when we started Church on the Street, which is the organization I founded, and we were trying to solve the issue around hunger. That was our mission around that time. Children, hunger, we were trying to solve those two issues, wanted to solve it. And as young undergrad students in Nigeria, we're just going about our business, showing up, going, moving, and all that. And then when we got to 2020 during COVID, I was the founder of this organization. All the people that were my teammates, everybody began to take a step back. And it kind of felt like I was the only person carrying the burden on my shoulder. I literally was the only person carrying the burden on my shoulder. I would ask myself, like, who sent me? My friends are starting businesses. I'm here saying I want to start a non-profit to change the world. Like, who sent me? What if I just shut it down and just go and be doing my work? But guess what? Because I realized that I didn't start this thing because I wanted a title or a label. I started this course really because I wanted to touch the life of one child. And so if I can touch one child's life, it is okay. It is only a matter of time. Everything will come together. That is the fundamental reason you need to ask yourself why you are like why you're doing what you're doing. Because the day the rubber hits the road, it's your why that will keep you going. It's the why that will become the flame that fans the ember and say, Itofa, you can't give up today. Rejoice, you can't give up today. My gentleman that said he wants to build a school, you cannot give up today. Mordecai, you can't give up today. Why? It's about that one person's life that would need that transformation. And so when life now hands you lemons, you make lemonade out of it. All right. So when you start with why, you will be able to see from the lens of the Wright brothers why, when they couldn't build, they didn't have money, they were using second-hand parts to build the aeroplane. They had a cost to keep going. For them, it was about contributing something to humanity. And that brings me to my next point. What do you want to be remembered for? Is it the founder that won all the awards? Is it the founder that got all the grant money? Is it the founder that flew business class and we're screaming and yelling your name? Or is it the individual who really did something that contributed to the world? That's exactly what the work is about. And so when I come to speak on a platform like this, for me, it's not about having 1,000 people show up. It'll be great to have 1,000 people, but if one person is listening to what I'm saying, that's okay. Because that's what it means to be a founder. Because it's about transformation. It's about leaving a lasting legacy that transcends time, the annals of time. Are we together, people? Are we together? Are you getting value for your time? Are you getting value for your time? Can you type in the chat box? Are you getting value for your time so far? We're almost there. So there's an organization called there's a wonderful organization called Food for Education in Kenya. I use them for example all the time. Do you know that the founder started this organization with very little money in her pocket? She was studying in Australia and decided to come back home to contribute to the issue of children dropping out of school in Kenya. And she raised some money and started a kitchen, a small kitchen, a small kitchen, people of God. She started a small kitchen and she could only feed 30 children inside that kitchen. And this is why I say that you cannot despise your little beginnings. There were days when in the heart of Benin City, I was trekking under the sun, going to the bank to deposit the money for the children who pay their school fees. But I never despised my little beginning. Because for me, it was not just about being this guy that will change the world, but it's about this guy that knows that, look, it's a step-by-step process. And so while Wira Injiru could only feed 30 children, but that didn't deter her. Their kitchen was a makeshift kitchen. To help you understand the context of what a makeshift kitchen is, a makeshift kitchen, the kitchen that you know those kitchens you do by yourself. You heat zinc, cement bags, and you just put all those things together. That's what they had for their kitchen. And they were feeding the children. Kids were going to school. There was a high turnout of children in school. Do you know that today, Wawira Injiru isn't just feeding 30 children anymore? Every day, she has the largest giga kitchen in the world. Number one. Number two, they feed 300,000 people every day. I want you to picture 300,000 people in your mind. The Bible says Jesus fed 5,000. This woman is feeding 300,000 people every day. Do you know what it means to cook for 300,000 people? But she didn't start from 300,000. She started from the first 30. Question: are you faithful with your 30 today? I know you want to be flying on aeroplane, you want them to be holding camera for you and clapping for you, but are you faithful with the little one you currently have? Are you diligent? Are you excellent? Are you have you stopped complaining and start being grateful? Some people think I'm going to come and share strategies, do this, do this. I'm going to talk all about all of that. But the truth is, what makes a successful organization is mindset. It's mindset. It's the little things. The little things like understanding that I want to make meaning in the world. Number one. Number two, I want to be a good person, not just an ambitious person. Because the day you're not getting the results, you will give up and you will quit. All right. And so I've shared all of these stories to bring you to this point where I'm going to show the technical expertise in terms of building organizations that last. Now, if you're ever going to build something that will make a meaning in the world, the first thing you need is knowledge. And I say this all the time: applied knowledge is power. So we're going to use a case study. We want to build an NGO that feeds people, and they want to build a for-profit that becomes a social enterprise that feeds people. I will use these two organizations as my case study and would wrap up and take questions. Is that okay? So, number one, I'm a Nigerian guy. I'm 21 years old. For the past 5 years, I see children on the streets in Nigeria, and I just want to feed them. I don't know how to do it. I want to feed them. I don't want to see them hungry. Here's the right approach to take. In non-profit ecosystem, there's what you call systemic intervention and responsive intervention. Now we're making a case for non-profit. We'll go to the for-profit now. It's what you call systemic intervention and responsive intervention. Most charities provide what you call responsive intervention. Most development organizations provide what you call systemic intervention. What's the difference between a responsive and a systemic intervention? A responsive intervention is saying, look, there was earthquake, let us run and quickly go and feed the children. There is an issue or there is a cause, and we go to provide quick support, quick aid, quick relief for that challenge. That's responsive intervention. Systemic intervention is saying, what is consistently causing this earthquake? Is it because we are burning grass, we are cutting down trees? Is it because of carbon emission? Is it global warming? How do we solve global warming so that we don't have earthquake? That's what development organizations are looking for. Now, for you to build, you can build a successful charity or you could build a successful development organization. However, when addressing issues, so for those people who are in non-profits, you can get a point out of what I'm saying. For those of you who are in for-profit, you could also get a point from what I'm saying. If you are running a development organization, you want to ensure that you have what you call a theory of change. I wish I could see the people I'm talking to, but sadly I can't see them. So it feels like I'm talking to myself, right? So, development organization, if you are running a development organization, you need a theory of change. Now, your theory of change is what will serve as the pathway to solving that issue. I wish again this was a call I could see everybody would have, shared screen, show you some samples. But this is going to be on YouTube, and I didn't want to share some of my intellectual property, right? But if you would want to have a one-on-one chat, feel free to send me an email. Feel free to book a strategy call or a consultation, right? The first thing is you need a theory. So we use things on purpose, for example. Mordecai, you have an idea, and this idea is to see young people on fire for God. On fire, they are living purposeful lives. They are doing things that are transformational. Where do you start from? The first place is to sit down and ask myself, where do I see this organization in 10 years? So I'm Mordecai and I'm analyzing this thing in my head. I said, okay, I want us to have an incubation hub for young people in Nigeria. And the vision is that we would have these incubation centers across maybe 10 states in Nigeria. And these incubation centers will have facilities that have STEM facilities. STEM now is science, technology, engineering, and math. You know, children can learn coding, children can learn robotics, children can learn about gaming, children can learn about software development in this incubation hub. We will go to the most rural areas and pick these children and incorporate them into our innovative program. Maybe we'll call that STEM for the future. STEM for the future. This is things on purpose, using technology to prepare the next generation, or using technology to save children off the streets, right? That's our theory of change. And so for the next 1 year or 2 years, that is what we're going to be launching. Okay, now, but I don't have 25 million naira to build a STEM center. Where can I start from? This is where creative thinking and human centered design comes in. I'll say to myself, okay, we don't have 25 million. What can we do? I said, okay, I'm going to partner with schools. I'll find schools around my community. I'm going to partner with them. And what we will do is we will develop a program called Tech for Development, Tech for Dev, or Tech for the Future. And we will carry our one laptop that we have. We will go to these schools and teach these children specific things about robotics, about engineering, about technology, about software, about gaming. We will teach them. So all these children that don't like to come to school, it would attract them to come to school. Beautiful idea. Another thing we would also do in Things on Purpose as well is that we will launch a program that uses gaming. We're going to rent PS5, PS4, all these games. We'll rent it in a center. We'll bring children from the streets. And when these children are playing games, we will use it to teach them about leadership. We will train them about leadership, but it's going to be called Game for Life. Game for Life. Game for Life. We'll call this program Game for Life. And we'll use it to teach them about leadership. Now, in doing this, now mind you, my end goal is to have incubation labs in different places in Nigeria where we can be replicating this program. But what I need to do that is $10 million. All I have right now is 100K. So I'm going to start with my 100K. But what I will do in ensuring that I'm building this organization is that I will prioritize documentation. I would prioritize documenting the work that I'm currently doing. So as we go to this school and teaching the children from our computers, we're documenting it. As we rent a space and we bring PS5, Xbox 360, PSP for these kids to play, and we're teaching them about leadership, we will document it. The world is a global village right now. You can take an idea in the heart of where now? The heart of Lagos, and somebody in California can experience that idea. That's the power of technology. So if I was going to start an organization again, that's what I would do. So there is a beautiful quote I love. It's not what you don't have, Mordecai, that is stopping you. It's what you currently have, but you are not fully maximizing. And some of us are in a place where you are not disadvantaged, though. You have all the resources, but you just don't know how to maximize the opportunity. And so that's where I'll start from. Now, when it comes to recruiting people, what I'm going to focus on doing is ensuring that I don't recruit my friends. That's a big mistake a lot of people make. Don't recruit your friends when especially you're a young person trying to build something. Except your friends have the skill sets and the same passion as you do. Don't recruit them because they are your friends, you live in the same apartment, you go to the same school. Nope. Recruit them because they have passion and the skill set to move the organization forward. An organization will not go above the knowledge of the founders. And so, if you don't know what theory of change is, if you don't know how to write impact stories, if you don't understand how to use storytelling, if you don't know how to use what's it called now, basic tools like Canvas to be able to amplify your brand, there is problem. Oh, there's huge problem. And so, you want to ensure that you do that. So, we've talked on the idea, we've talked on recruitment. We now talk about structure. Now, when you are building an organization, there are three people you need: director of communications, director of people and partnership, and director of what's it called now? Associate relationship. I'll take that again. There are three people you need when you're building an organization: director of communications, the person who will handle your social media, Director of people and partnership, the person who will bring all the opportunities your way, who would help, who is forward thinking, and they're able to see right in front of you and say, okay, sir, let's email these people, let's message these people, director of people and partnership. And then you now need somebody who's going to be part of your research and development team. Their job is really to just brainstorm ideas to keep the organization going. If you have these three people, you can build anything. You could build anything that will shake the world. People on partnership can get you money. Communication is telling a great work on Instagram. Research and development, they are seeking new ways to push the organization forward. With these three people and yourself, you are going to build an institution. All right. Now let's talk about a social enterprise. What is a social enterprise? I don't want to build a non-profit. I don't want, that's not what I want to do. I want to build, I want to make money and I'll be making impact. That's what you call a social enterprise. Now, many social enterprises are not global because they don't understand the granular layer of what makes a social enterprise. I'm going to be wrapping up shortly. A granular layer of what makes a social enterprise. What makes a social enterprise is the fact that, Mordecai, you can solve a world problem at the same time make money out of it. And I'll give you example upon example. The first example is Tom's. Oh, I use these guys as an example a lot because when you think about social entrepreneurship and you think about the one for one model, one person who played it out very well is Blake Michalski. Again, if this was something that we're doing on Zoom, I'll be able to show you guys photos of this gentleman, right? And would have been able to interact. So Blake Michalski, he traveled to Argentina on vacation. And when he got there, he saw that children were not wearing shoes in that country. He said, how can children not be wearing shoes? And so he thought to himself, can I do something to solve this problem? What can I do to solve this issue? And so he said to himself, you know what? I'm going to go back to America and I would ensure that we build shoes, sell the shoes in America, and for every pair we sell, a child in Argentina will get a pair of shoe. And they call that model the one for one model. Now, I'm showing you how, even as a social enterprise, you can be solving a problem and still make profit from it. And so Blake Michalski introduced a company called Tom's Tomorrow Shoes. That's the name, the acronym, Tomorrow Shoes. And from doing that stuff, it was so successful. They moved on from there to, eyeglasses. So they'll sell sunglasses in America and in the global north. And for every pair they sell, they will ensure that they do eye surgery for people in Africa or for people suffering in the global south. Then they went there from to sell coffee beans. For every coffee beans they sell, they will go to the global south and ensure that they give clean water to the communities. And these were the type of projects that they were developing. Guess what? He sold that company for $300 million as of 2023. The market valuation for Tomorrow Shoes was $300 million. Is it possible that that kind of idea is currently inside somebody right now? Where $300 million can come out of you? It is. It's very possible. It takes one great idea and one great team to make anything happen. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Can I see the chat box? Are we still together? If we're together, can you indicate in the chat box? If we're together, can you indicate in the chat box? Okay, great. All right. So the one for one model, pretty much. Now, how can you build something of that nature and ensure that it becomes successful? You want to ask yourself that, is this my idea good enough? Is this my idea good enough? Okay, I can see the chat box now. Okay, great. Is this my idea? Is it good enough? Is it viable enough? And then you take the time to invest in resources. Now, when Mordecai was introducing, he said that when he was trying to start his organization, one of the things he noticed was that there were certain things he did not know, and he began to look for resources to get resources to ensure that he equips himself to do the work. That's exactly what everybody needs to do. But you need to understand that if you're going to build a social enterprise where you're going to make money from it, focus and prioritize on technical knowledge. All right. Prioritize on technical knowledge. Ensure that these ideas you have pitched these ideas with people in rooms, in places that have gone before you. You have a point of reference, and then you're able to run with it, right? But the first thing you need to know that it is possible. It is possible to build an idea that changes the world. It is possible to build an idea that becomes so innovative that people would really be blessed by it. So, Mordecai, I'm coming to the end of my session right now. So you can come on now. You could build an idea that changes the landscape, that changes the world. Now, I use non-profits and for-profits as case studies and as examples in the course of my introduction. And I'm saying that the three fundamental ways to build an organization that lasts and that works. The first thing I said is say you must start with why. If you don't start with why, you would burn out and you will give up on the vision. The next thing is you need to have people who are point of references, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's coming on YouTube like this to watch stuff, whether it's looking for resources. You must have point of reference. And the third and final thing I said is mindset. Mindset. I told you about the Wright brothers. How did they go from build? How did they go? They were competing with a man that had $50,000 in 1903, and the man failed in the mission. And they were using second-hand parts, and they succeeded. Mindset. So the question I have for you now: what can you see with your mind? Do you believe that what you're building now, Mordecai, Harvard Kennedy School can use it as a case study in 5 years? Is it possible that the young people you are raising, whether it's through the innovative practices of what you guys are doing, they could become thought leaders tomorrow, where they would, when they are making reference, they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I was a part of this organization. They played a critical role to my work." Is it possible that they will be developing a policy bill tomorrow in the US and they say, "Look, we're looking for five young youth-led organizations in the world that have done something significant, and we can go and find your organization, Mordecai." This is exactly what I want, how I want you to, everyone who's joined this conversation, to see what they are building. You're not building anything local, you're building a global asset that can contribute to a global challenge, using locally led resources to attack a global challenge. And to see yourself as a leader, not a mediocre. See yourself as a change maker, not just somebody who's trying to get by. See yourself as a global asset and not somebody who luck or chance is happening to. Because if you embrace the journey you currently have right now or you are currently on right now, the chances that the world will celebrate you is very high. The world celebrates only people who take risk. So whether you're building a unicorn, like Rejoice said earlier, or you want to build a school, first of all, it is possible. It is possible. And this session is to give you that reminder and that go ahead that look, you can do this. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow, wow. This is powerful. Please, can you first give our Mr. Itofa Ivarah a clap innovation? Like this is power. I told you that your mind. I've listened to him speak severally. You may not know, but I've watched some of his videos on YouTube. And anytime he speaks about vision, about that he shares his story,
Mhm.
like there's something they call about like the baby inside you lips. That was to happen whenever I listen to him. All right. So if I've been impacted by this session, can you just give Mr. Itofa Ivarah a clap innovation? Like give him a clap innovation. Like if you've been transformed, if you have been changed, if something have been ignited inside of you, can you give me a clap innovation? Like I'm really inspired by tonight's session. Like I love how he shared story, he gave up practical examples, and he also spoke about if there's one that stood out for me was about starting with why. All right. Starting with why, because there are several times too that I was about giving up. See the story you shared about 2020 when with the challenges and you had asking questions that should I go and start my own business instead of taking the little money I have to like I'm just imagining how you would have gone through even because of your mindset and what you can
Yeah.
see, all right, the vision you can see that would have scaled. If not, many people would have gone to like get a job
Yeah.
or do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else like we are almost compelled to do. But that vision, that why behind what
Yeah.
you are doing, and I can see the result, the
Yeah.
impact you've made in the life of thousands of people. No money can buy that, and that is something that's really inspiring. Thanks so much for this powerful session. I love this. I love you said prioritize
Yeah.
documentation. I remember I got that from your book too.
Mm.
because I do impactful
mm,
work, but I don't share most of them online
mm,
previously. I don't document the process. Now we are looking for funding. Thank God for those things I got then.
mm,
We are working on a project now to impact 30,000 young people across 30 states in Nigeria.
mm,
We are starting in next 2 weeks.
mm,
Thank God for the documentation. When we are submitting proposals, that's what we can do. We have track records online on our website. So thank God for your book and thank God for this session. Beyond what he said something said that applied knowledge, not just
mm.
knowledge, applied knowledge. So, sir, I want to ask a question before that
Yes,
they are thanking you on the chat
yes,
box. Like, you talk about applied knowledge. So, someone that is listening to us now that okay, I have had all these
yes,
things, I'm inspired, I'm
yes.
changed, I'm transformed. But if there's a step I can take
Mm.
now, like this night, what will it be? All right, because I discovered that I've paid thousands of naira for like huge sum of money this year alone. I mean for impactful sessions and programs, and I discovered that there are many people that do the same thing, but people are not being transformed. Like you'll be inspired, geared up, and then the next day, seriously, you are forgotten. Some people yes. So I used to prioritize that what can someone do immediately? Like what action, if there's an action
Mm,
that based on what you
mm.
said that someone can take now after this session that can that there's something that is called Sobu effect that you eat something and it I forgot to type the name like effect. You
Mhm.
eat something and it
Cause and
rose like
effect. Cause and
I
effect.
don't know
Love cause and effect.
effects, yes, ripple
Yeah.
effects, yes, that's what I'm saying. Ripple
Okay.
effect.
Mm,
Right. For me, it was a challenge I got from someone many years ago when I was about 17 years old
mm.
that caused all this thing. Again, from your book, one thing. So, what is the one thing you can tell someone tonight that do start with this? All right, start with
Mm.
this one thing.
So I'm gonna answer that question with a story. I was in Benin City, Benin. The place I called my office was where there's the part of the house where you throw rubbish, condemned parts of generator they throw it there, tire of car they throw it there, and there was no part of the house. The family I was with, there was no part of the house that I could use for anything useful that I could use. So I turned that place to my consultation office. And I remember that I was in a session like this, and the man said, "Go to bed this night and ask God what's next." And I did it, woke up and took my pen and my paper with expectation of what the next steps would be. And I took my pen and my paper and woke up with a company name called ID Consulting. So if you ask me what is the first step, bro, get a pen and a paper and go to bed tonight with an expectation. That thing you so let me so when I woke up with that thing, it was this Itofa, you become a consultant, and the company name is ID Consulting. I said, "Oh, I mean, I've not even finished final year. If I deploy to a consultant that I knew with Fela Durotoye, what do you want to put me side by side with Fela Durotoye? I can't call myself a consultant now. But bro, guess what? Do you know that the name you call yourself, you would eventually become it? So you are listening to me now. You feel inadequate. You feel unprepared. The first step is change your language. Change your language. You're not a struggling organization. You have made too much money. In fact, you start to ask yourself, if we replicate this solution in Kenya, for instance, what would it take for us to go to Kenya, Mordecai, and do this work in Kenya? Right now, we only have 10K in the company account. It's okay. But the language you speak, you would eventually become it. Somebody in Kenya right now is thinking about doing something for young people. And because you had been nursing this idea, something will connect two of you. You're on your next flight to Kenya to go and help them launch this thing that you are doing in Kenya. So, first thing I say, change your language. So, go to bed tonight, get a pen, and write something down. I said, applied knowledge is power, not just knowledge. Oh. So, as you are writing it down, you are taking action. What was the next thing I did? I reached out to the graphics. I said, bro, design a logo for me. The company logo that they designed for me in 2020 is what I'm still using right now. In fact, a client reached out today for me to send them an invoice of a proposal document I worked on for them. And I was just laughing at, man, imagine if I did not start this company. They didn't come to Itofa to run it for them. They came to the company to run this stuff for them. And they're not paying me in naira, they're paying me in pounds. So what am I saying? When that stuff came to me, I changed the language. I said I'm a consultant. Do you know that the first client I got, when they said, how much do you charge? I didn't even know how much to charge the woman. I said, okay. Because I've been talking to people for free. They'll call me to if I want to do this thing. How do we do it? I'll say, yeah, do this, and it will work. So the woman called me. I told her 50,000. Mind you, this was COVID. This was in COVID. 50,000 naira in 2020 was not small money. I told the woman 50K because
Yeah.
I was trying to self sabotage that transaction. I didn't believe that there would no and someone would pay me 50K in 2020. Bro, I said I was still I've not even finished final year. I did not believe. So I was trying to sabotage the success. So my plan was if I tell her 50K, she will run away. I said, okay, I didn't get clients because they couldn't afford it. Bro, Juma said, send me your account. I started sweating. Not out of excitement, out of fear. Because I was like, okay, if they now tell me to deliver, what am I going to deliver to them? Okay, the woman calls me, okay, I want to start the organization. Tell me what am I going to say to the woman? But guess what, bro? They paid me the money for 3 days. I didn't touch that money. You know why? Something in my head was telling me that they will call me back and tell me to return the money. And I'm telling you, real story. You need to break mental stronghold. You need to break mental stronghold. But after that experience, I said if somebody can pay me 50,000 naira just to talk over a phone, hey, the world will know. The world will know. So for that person sitting and asking is, look, just go unrefined, go untrained, just put it. You don't even know where the center will be, where you use for the workshop. Just put it out. Do you know that I recently made a trip to Nigeria when I said I was going to do a workshop? I didn't expect anybody to come. Yes, I'm Itofa, Ivarah, whatever, but I didn't expect that people will even show up. So for me, the risk was paying a lot of money for a workshop center because I didn't plan the workshop to make profit. It was really to help people. So I made a deposit for a hall in Abuja. And I said, even if two people come, the way I'm talking to you now, I will passionately talk to them. So for me, I have this mind still at the back of my mind. Proof of concept, proof of concept, proof of concept. Keep generating your proof of concept. As you keep generating your proof of concept, people are watching you, bro. People are watching you. So I did that workshop. The place was packed, bro. Like I didn't make the thing for profit or anything, but the place was packed and they paid to come. Imagine if I didn't step out. So for that person here, just go on refined. I don't care what if the idea right now is to apply for visa and travel. Let the first thing be that you know what the cost of a visa is. Bro, Mordecai, I have this leading in my spirit to say this to you. Begin to check for international conferences in 2025 and put it as a part of your goal. You will travel, you will pay for it with your money for an international conference, not in Africa, somewhere in Europe or in America. Put it in your goal, and it will happen. I promise you, it will happen. So that's exactly how you move. That's exactly how you take steps. You don't know what will happen, but you just put it there. This is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be moving. There's some things I can't say here in front of the camera. But maybe if you want to have time, I'll give you back end G's. You just go, you just enter. As you enter, bro, do you know what will happen? Things will begin to happen because life is looking for risk takers. Risk take. Do you think the people that create movie, they think people go to the cinema to watch them? No, it's just I'm just gonna try. You do this workshop, you don't even know if anybody will come. I'm just gonna try. You are launching your conference. You're just gonna try. Let me say this final thing. Why it's important to try. Also, Mordecai, another thing my experience in leadership has taught me is this. You must know when a season is coming to an end and a new season is coming upon you. In 2020, Short on the Street was at its peak. We were doing incredible work, even though I was getting tired and fed up. A lot of people were knowing us, but I was unsatisfied in my spirit. I knew there was more, bro. I knew there was more, but I did not know what it was. So I started calling my friends, my older colleagues, and explaining to them, bro, I don't know what's happening to me. I know that what we're doing is good, but there is more to this thing. This cannot be all that there is. And then the Holy Ghost said to me, my Nigeria Food Bank. I said, ah. I said, okay, but we're already doing the work. What is Food Bank doing inside? I just wrote it down. But that thing kept haunting me. Now, the enemy of greatness is good. And many of us settle at the realm of good instead
Hmm,
of
goodness is good.
moving forward to greatness. People are clapping for you, everybody is telling you, well done, well done. But you, instead of not realizing that there is so much more for you ahead for you to press and enter, but you just settle at that place of good. And it's Dr. Masmoro that came up with this quote. Say the enemy of greatness is not, it's not bad or evil. It's good. Good. It's good. Everything is okay. We settle there. But bro, there's greatness, and greatness is uncomfortable. And so for me, saying I want to start another organization when after 4 years of building something successful, ah, okay. So I took the risk. If I didn't take the risk, oh, I stalled on the idea for like 2 years. In 2022, I traveled to Lagos and I went to meet one of my older colleagues. I was in his office and I shared the idea with him. You know what he said to me? He said, Itofa, this is June, this is June 28th. He said, Itofa, go back to Abuja, get a graphic designer to design a logo for my Nigeria Food Bank. And on the 1st of July, make sure you announce this thing on Instagram. I said, sir, I don't even know what the mission is. I don't know what the vision is. He said, just announce it like that. Bro, the post is still there. I think it's still there. I just made a post launching my Nigeria Food Bank. I did not know what we were doing. Do you know that after I made that post, it took another 1 full year for me to unravel what Church on my Nigeria Food Bank is? So after that post, it took 1 whole year to figure out exactly what we're even going to be doing as an organization. It meant that I went from having built this wonderful thing to starting afresh. That's not all low, but because I started my Nigeria Food Bank, I got achieving scholarship. Just yesterday, I was awarded the Voices to End Hunger Award in London with a grant prize.
Wow,
Grant money came with it, not
wow,
in naira, in pounds.
wow.
They didn't give the money to Church on the Street. The money is for my Niger Food Bank. Imagine if I had not started. Sometimes we play too at a point of comfort. It's great, it's working. No, go. If you get the nudge, you go. That thing I said to you, Mordecai, you will text me and say, bro, I'm traveling on these social those dates for the conference. Mark it. It came by the spirit. Mark it. So, so what will you do tonight? Write it down and just be moving. Just be moving. You will figure everything out as you go. All right. That's my answer to that question.
Wow, it seems this session is for me. I was thinking it's for everybody before, but it seems it's specifically for me. So I'm sure that it's also you've learned a lot. All right, it's like you just have to come back to watch this replay. I'll have to come back to. I do watch the replay
I
of every
am
of our
gonna
session.
I am gonna watch it as well.
Exactly. So I'm going to watch you replay, and I've gotten the word for me, and I'm going to run with it. All right. So I know each and every one of you, you got what they said. Before you go to bed this night, listen, write down something that you're going to run with. All right. And please don't let tonight go down without write down something. And I'm sure that as you apply this thing you are learning, I'm sure that you're able to build whatever God has laid inside your mind, and you're going to impact your generation for good. All right. So I can't find any question in the chat box. I want to believe that you understood everything Itofa Ivarah have just discussed tonight. So please don't forget, knowledge is not enough. Applied knowledge. And he mentioned something. He said that an organization can't go beyond the knowledge of the founder. That thing touched my heart too. So that means and if you mention about play to somewhere here, that means you need to keep seeking knowledge like this. All right. And beyond seeking knowledge, applied knowledge. And I'm sure that as you do this, you are going to build an organization that impact lives and touch generations to come. Someone said they asked question. Let me see the question. Uh, I have a question. How do you manage your NGO in Nigeria? Why you base outside Africa?
Yeah. So that's the thing about structure. So before I left Nigeria, I was the CEO. Right now, I'm a non-active CEO, meaning that I'm the CEO of the organization, but I'm not really the CEO. We have a COO, a Chief of Operating Officer. So you need to be able to build structure around the work that you are doing. Look, and not just get people that their number six is working. Don't just get people that are your friends. That's why they don't put your friends, because many times your friends good banter, but they don't have the capacity to drive your vision to where you are going to. Look at, I just told you about the lady in Kenya. Bro, do you know that she was named on that Time magazine? She's not American, she's from
Wow.
Kenya. Time magazine named her. Do you know what it means to be cooking 300,000 food every day? She's gotten all the
Jesus.
grant money. She's gotten all the awards. Now, I'm not saying become longer throat and do ojukokoro, but I'm telling you what's possible. So how have I managed it? We've been able to build a structure in the organization where we have teams. Like even when I was in Nigeria, I was just really giving guidance. I wasn't the one making everything work day to day. But there's a COO right now that manages the work, daily operations, works with the team when we need to do something. In fact, tomorrow we have a project in Benin City, and I'm here. I'm not in Nigeria, right? So just like that, we have structure, and we've been running. I've been away from Nigeria for going on 2 years now, and in that 2 years, we've done incredible work. So, yep, work is going on. There's structure. There's COO running the operation. We have director of people on partnership. We have a whole HR department that runs recruitment and all that stuff. So, yeah.
Wow. I'm sure Godwin he answered the question correctly because I really learned something again about building structure. Although I'm just gaining more knowledge, so I really appreciate
Yeah.
this session tonight. I did not take it for granted. And please, like you had what he said, he usually see he came to speak to us, but he charged people for consultation. He charged so what you're gaining,
Yeah.
don't just see it as
Yeah.
free. And then so please, do you get what I'm saying? Please apply and please, if you'd like to book a consultation with him, you can number one, if you'd like to get his book, the book I read in about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2020, about building a non-profit, or you can go to his bio on Instagram. His name on Instagram is Itofa Ivarah. So, did I get it correctly?
Yes, absolutely. Itofa, bro, absolutely.
Yes. So
And
follow him on Instagram.
I'm dropping another one on the 15th of May. It's called the Founders
Wow.
Playbook. The Founders Playbook. And
Wow.
this one is it's more concentrated, really. There's real case study of organizations that have done it, what you need to do from that point on. So you could just follow me and just stay on the loop of things.
I'll be the first to get that one for certain. I'll be the first. You see my email on it. Yeah, so please go to follow him across all social media channel on Instagram, and I think it's active on LinkedIn too. And some just follow him to Ivarah and go to his YouTube link in bio. Go there, get that book. All right, that book is going to like change your perspective and transform your life too. All right. So please, if you have learned something tonight, please go to his page, follow him, and leave a thank you somewhere. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either on LinkedIn or Instagram, just leave a thank you, appreciating that. Sir, I learned so much from your session at Teams of Purpose International, and I've come to say thank you. Please don't forget to do that. Thank you once again. I really appreciate you coming on board tonight. Just
My
share
pleasure.
lot
My
of wisdom
pleasure.
and knowledge. Yeah, I'm
Please
praying that
send
we
me the
feel.
replay. Kindly send me the link to the replay of this, please.
All right, I'm going to do that for certain.
Yes, please. Thank you
So
so much.
yeah, you're welcome. So that'll be all for tonight's session. Till I see you next month for our the May edition of Top Club Monthly Webinar. Do have a great night and keep living purposefully. Bye bye.